Hey, it's Greg Burdine, Faith Baptist Church. We're in Route 66. We're in day number 75. That's kind of a peak. That's a good spot. We're in let's say Joshua 19 through 21. So thanks for reading through your Bible and getting this far. You've gone further than most people ever get. And so thank you. The nation of Israel has conquered, and we find out in these chapters that they're going to get into the land here. Joshua chapter 19, the remaining tribes receive their inheritance. Simeon, Zebulun, Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and Dan. Simeon and Dan are the only ones that I would even recognize, but Dan, as far as names that we have right now, but they received their land allotments. And so they knew where they were supposed to go. And so they're supposed to go in there and take over the land. The tribe of Simeon is given land that's actually within Judah's territory because Judah was so big. And so they got some of that land. The tribe of Dan, they struggled to claim their land. And so we find out that they eventually later expanded to another area, actually. That we find that in Judges chapter 18. And Joshua is given his own city. If you remember, Caleb got some land. Joshua gets his own city as his inheritance. In Joshua chapter 20, the cities of refuge are established. Now that the land is controlled, and they have some land on the east side of the Jordan River, and now they have the land in the Promised Land. These 6 cities of refuge are designated as safe havens for those who accidentally kill somebody. Didn't have a big, strong police force like we would have, or a judicial system or anything like that. So a lot of times if somebody killed somebody else accidentally, the family came after them, kind of like they would do in the Old West. Nobody stopped them. And so what they could do is if you went to one of these cities of refuge, you could be kept safe. The people there would judge and see if it was by accident, and you could stay in that city and the people would not harm you. So these cities you're to go and you were to be protected. So that was good. So there would be a fair, honest trial and you could be safe. And then Joshua chapter 21, the Levites received their cities. If you recall, the Levites didn't get a section of land, but they did get cities. 48 different cities scattered throughout Israel because they made judgments. You would go to them. They prayed. They were like the priestly group, and so they kind of helped people in that. And so they had all these different cities throughout that you could come by and meet with somebody that could help you connect with God. So some lessons from the reading that you're going to get today. I think one good lesson is God provides a plan for everybody. Each tribe received an inheritance so that God does not forget anybody. God provides for everybody. It's just a matter if everybody goes after that inheritance. A second lesson is God is merciful and just. These cities of refuge, they show that God is understanding and God is merciful. And God does not punish when punishment is not, needed. And so God is very merciful. I like the cities of refuge that you could go. A third lesson is God always keeps his promises. Israel received all the land, proving that he's faithful. He promised it, and they finally got it. But another lesson I think that we can see is there is not only a material inheritance and possessions that we can get. There is a spiritual inheritance. It's interesting is in Joshua chapter 21, it says that the Levites did not inherit a land. Listen to this. The Lord was their inheritance. The blessing they got was not property. It was not a house. Now they could live in cities, but that didn't belong to them. The inheritance they got was having God. And I'll tell you what, if I had to have all the land in the world versus God, I'd rather have God. And so sometimes we need to just look at the spiritual blessings that we have. May not have as many, material blessings as other people, but if you've got spiritual blessings, you are blessed.